Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Trev video. We're gonna continue the chimp series, but this time we're gonna use the super glue.
Hey yo!
Glue so strong it temporarily immobilizes all affected balloons.
Hey yo!
Pretty vague, yet pretty powerful. Let's test it out. And for the hero for today's chimp gameplay is going to be Azili. Super glue can undoubtedly slow Moabs, but we're gonna be lacking Moab damage, which is why pairing with Azili is gonna be a perfect combo. And then just to show you guys how good this tower actually is, we're gonna try Rake and see how it's gonna go. So log on into Chimps and without further ado. So I don't know why, but I've been loving the triple dart start. Triple dart start, notably one of the better starts for the expert maps. And so we're going to use it on an intermediate, and it should do just fine. Now, there's probably several different strats and starts you could do for this map, but again, we're going to showcase a tower, not so much a strategy, but we'll do a little bit of both. So after the first two rounds, we're going to get a submarine. Now, I do have plans for this submarine, but I do want to emphasize where this is going to go, just in case anyone's going to follow along with me. There's a rock right here. I'm going to put it all the way up and a little bit left of that rock. Saving about one water spot right here for the future. And so we're going to put sub about right here and be good. Now, the early game for Rake, I do think is pretty difficult. It's not the most, but it definitely is going to get a couple people out. So we're going to add some extra defense. We're going to grab a boomerang. For now, though, he's going to help beat round 10. So I do want to get my hero down eventually, Azili. But for now, she's not really too necessary. In the meantime, we're going to get some upgrades on the towers we have down. First upgrade is going to be twin guns, and then we're just going to power level this submarine up a little bit here. And so now we're going to grab barb darts. We're going to grab heat tip darts as well. Now I am buying these upgrades before rounds start. I'm not too sure if that's going to be necessary, but I would say just turn auto start off for the first couple of rounds. I think once we get past round 40, we should be in the clear. We are going to go for the 022 submarine. Basically, it's going to be one of the early game towers. That can also be built into a late game tower. If anyone does know, it's going to be a first strike. One of my favorite towers out there. With the spot we left open earlier in the water, we're going to play some Mermonkey. And this Mermonkey is actually going to be one of the top path and camo preventers. So we'll go for camo and then continue upgrading to a 402. Now we're going to grab the Abyss Dweller. Now we got some DPS happening for the Mermonkey. First, though, I'm going to preemptively put this Glue Monkey down because he's going to be the super glue in the future. But not until after we escape the early game. I just want to make sure we have enough space to squeeze Azili on in next to it. Speaking of Azili. And now we're going to continue upgrading this Mermonkey. We'll grab the 302 and look towards the Abyssal Warrior. I think Abyssal Warrior is going to help deal with the Moabs and the balloon spawning up until 40. And then once we do get to the mid-game, we're basically just stalling long enough to get the tier 5. My strategy, I think, is going to be perfect enough to where we can get a couple tier 4s. Maybe a camo village and some jungle drums. And it should stall long enough to afford a lot of tier 5s. But we'll see. We'll see. We're basically there to affording it. Nice. After we get the Abyssal Warrior, I want a little bit more ceramic damage and cleanup prowess. So we're going to go for a very good yet cheap tower. The Morglaves. Round 39 should be a good eco round. And I guess a little bit pay attention to round 40. Let's see how it does. I might slow it down a little bit. Maybe squeeze out this Morglaze beforehand, too. And it looked to be solved pretty well. I'm not too sure if Azili did it, or if the Abyssal Warrior did it. But damn, that Moab died instantly. So one small thing before we actually do escape this early game is going to be one more village. And this village is going to be a simple camo village with jungle drums and primary training. So let's buy that primary training. This is going to buff this boomerang monkey over here, undoubtedly giving it camo, as well as extra popping power for ceramics. And so now we have some kind of stall strat, DPS strat, as well as Azili taking on the Moabs. This glue monkey is going to be a stall strat. In fact, we're going to go for the 202 right now. And hopefully here shortly go up to the Moab glue. So we're going to stall Moabs, beat Moabs, and then beat ceramics over here. As well as some small buffs all around. So it looks like round 48. Let's go for this Moab glue. So once we purchase this Relentless glue, as you can see, it's a rather expensive $26,000 to afford. But we have a bunch of towers now to survive the rounds, and hopefully we can turn this 2.3K into 25.9K, affording the super glue. So here's our first BFB. Let's see if this thing gets anywhere. Looks like it got kind of far up until it just stopped and died. 63 is the Saram Rush. Luckily for us, though, this more glaives is why we bought it in the first place, around 63. But I think we can get super glue, and so let's get super glue. So super glue is a very weird tower. As you can see, it's going to basically infestall these Moabs. And since we have the top path DPS corrosive glue, I'm not too sure how it works with super glue, but I'm pretty sure it gets amplified. It can do a bunch of damage. Now, it can't do all the damage, hence Azili and some of these other towers, right? So you can see him apply glue, and there's a bunch of, like, these splatters, or I don't know what to call them, the pink little bubble gums or something like that, right? They're doing a bunch of damage. It's hard to tell how much damage they're actually doing. Let's see if we can't apply it to a Moab. It is moving 1 or 5%. But look how easy it is, especially with the Azili putting her Moab Hex on it. But it looks like we're very, very close to getting this Glaive Lord. And I think I'm going to buy it once I can afford it. Again, I don't think we need to, but I want to. And as you can see, I'm not really using many abilities. I wanted to try to get a strategy that didn't revolve around using abilities too much or at the correct time. But I do think you can actually use these abilities as they had a pretty good chance at doing extra damage. For example, against this super high HP single target balloon, we could use a Moab Hex. I'm going to wait for it in range of super glue, and we're going to Hex. As you can see, all the inside balloons disappear. What do you think Azili actually does when she hexes balloons? Like, where do you think the balloons actually go to? The Shadow Realm? The Bloons Realm? The Monkey Realm? Probably wherever this guy's from, huh? Prince of Darkness. Alright, so now that we got our Glaive Lord up, and I think it's pretty good damage, we're going to go for a adding tower. And I want to put it in range of this village, so I'm going to go for a Alchemist right here. And I want to start adding more of the applications you can put on balloons. So you can see like the little red potion effect going on right now. We're going to go for this Unstable Concoction. It coats Moab classes in explosive substance, which causes large explosions when popped. That, paired with larger potions, means it can affect more balloons. And so now you can really see all the effects being applied here. And now I kind of want to go for another Mermonkey. We're going to put it right next to the other towers, and in range of the village, of course. And we're going to send this bottom path Mermonkey up to a tier 4. And you notice I put my seashell thing here over by the Glaive Lord. I don't want it over the top of Glaive Lord, but so that Glaive Lord can do its orbital ring attack while it's being circled by the Mermonkey. We are getting close to this final harmonic. Once I have 27,000, I think I'll just buy it. All right, here's round 93. I'm a little bit scared for camos, and so I'm going to use the Azili Hex here, which should help out with the DDTs despawning the insides, and finally affording the final harmonic. Round 95, another one of those pesky DDT rounds, so I think I'm going to use an Azili Hex here once the Moab starts spawning. Ooh, a little bit scary. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Nice. All right, all right, all right. Got a little bit scared there for a second. So I guess make sure you use your Azili Hex ability for 95. Or spend your 10,000. Since we struggle with 95, I'm going to use the Azili Hex ability for 99 as well. Looks like we can afford the first strike now. Let's go ahead and buy that. So look at these EMGs get taken out pretty easily, chat. It almost looks kind of scary because they keep warping into the front of the map, right? But then they go back to where they were, and it's perfectly fine. I think I have time here to use a ability, so I'm going to. I'm going to use a first strike. We got to make sure we have that first strike ability up for, I think, round 100. Other than that, Moab Hex round 99. And I think this is going to be one of the easiest CHIMPS completions of all time. And as good as the other towers are, I still believe the super glue is doing most of the heavy lifting, especially in this round, 98. Now, you can see Glaive Lord cleaning up the insides a little bit. A lot of it. A little lot of it. But we look good. We look good. We look good. We look good. That was actually a little bit more scary than I thought, but first try with no targeting micro, so we're going to call it a GG's. We're going to mob hex here as well. Make sure we get rid of those pesky DDTs. Alright. Super glue stunned that last one. We still had 20,000 extra to spend, so I could have bought some extra defense for those last couple rounds. But as long as we're going to use the first strike for this round, I think we should be fine. We'll rattle off instantly. And so Glaive Lord is actually do a lot of this damage, paired with, I think, Mermonkey. It's going to auto-apply the damage over time effect. If it can pop in range of Super Glue is going to stun all of it. And now it's just going to infinitely circle. And eventually, once we Moab Hex, perish. Pre-type the GGs. And fire! Victory! Fired up.
Victory screech!
So unfortunately, Glaive Lord got the most pops. I think that Super Glue might have gotten a lot of pops. Obviously not the most pops. It got around 197,000. I think he allowed Glaive Lord to get this many pops because of how immobilized the balloons were. If you guys never seen the Super Glue before, I would recommend it. And if you do, I would go for the Corrosive Glue. And it beat one of the harder intermediate maps first try. These Chimp series are kind of fun. I've been having a lot of fun, choose specific towers and go over different strategies with those said towers. So if you want to see a Chimp strategy with a different tower, I guess leave that down in the comments below. And since this has been bouncing all day, let's go ahead and open it.